Sonam thinks he can get it in, so we have exactly 10 minutes. All right, Sonam, whenever you're ready.
My name is Sonam Tenzin, and this is my further oral activity. My learning outcome is students will demonstrate an awareness of how language and meaning are shaped by culture and context. The definition of a stereotype, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, something agreeing with a pattern, especially an idea that many people have about a thing or a group that may often be untrue or only partly true. Now, stereotyping is a mental tool that attempts to simplify our thoughts by grouping many things in a common category. And people, as a species, have always wanted to have simpler things. As like technology, we have cars that expedite transportation. We have machines that expedite work. We have our internet that that makes the finding of information a lot easier. And stereotyping is a mental tool that makes our thought process easier, because in grouping a lot of things, or grouping similar things in one category, it decreases the amount of time that our mind has to take when coming up with a response to a situation regarding those certain groups. Now, we can apply stereotypes to many different people in many different ways. One way that we'll apply stereotypes is by accents. When we hear an accent, we realize that they're from a different culture than us, and we realize that they're probably different. They probably don't have the same command of the language that we do. So then we subconsciously apply a stereotype to them. And stereotype may be related to a past experience we've had with them, or with the type of people that they come from, or from people, from what people have told you about the similar people, about their group. Accents also trigger code switching in the listener, because we hear that they have a different accent than us, then we treat them differently. And the two main types of code switching because of hearing an accent is for clarity, and the other type is for the pressure to conform. Now an example of code switching for clarity is if you're talking to foreigners and they're asking for directions, maybe they're tourists and they want to know where to get to McDonald's, you're going to speak slower and louder and probably talk simpler, because they probably don't understand English as well as you think they do, or as well as they do, and you probably think that their minds aren't as capable as yours as understanding the information, so you slow it down and decrease your your register of code switching based on the pressure to conform. A lot of people may code switch to conform. An example is a guy from a poor neighborhood. They have really bad register. They speak slang. Just a very poor neighborhood. He goes to school. He learns very professional, educated register. Speaks with high-class diction. He comes back from school and he still switches back to his old stereotypical register, where he's speaking with not very high class stuff, and he feels the pressure to do that because his family and neighbors speak that way, and he needs to feel group mentality. And so language affirms identity, and he feels this identity by switching back to that code. Speaking in like the colloquial way, and like with accents and affectations to your language, helps you identify with a certain group, because you're creating a cultural envelope that binds you all together and helps you find a sense of identity. But that, on the same note, that cultural envelope is the cause for stereotypes, because the same binding action that it has for groups of people, it also separates groups of people. For example, languages, people in the Middle East and people here, their languages are completely different. We don't know what they're saying, and things get lost in translation, and we get stereotypes based on misinterpretations of their culture. Now this is a video demonstrating code switching. By the same guys.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Keegan.
I am Jordan.
And this is Key and Peele. Thank you, yes, thank you. Jordan and I are we're biracial.
Yes. Half black, half white.
And because of that, we find ourselves particularly adept at lying. Because on a daily basis, we have to adjust our blackness.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, there's many reasons we do that. I mean,
Yeah.
to terrify white people.
Yes, that's one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons.
Because I mean, you know, with the way that we sound, the way that we actually talk,
Yeah.
we're not intimidating anybody.
Oh no,
The
no,
way
no,
that we
no,
sound.
no.
We sound very white.
We sound whiter than the black dude in the college a cappella group.
Oh yes. We sound whiter than Mitt Romney in a snowstorm. You know what I mean? But that's just that's the reason. When we're around other brothers and sisters, you will see us.
You know, you
you
gotta-
gotta just
You gotta dial it up a little
You gotta
bit.
dial it up.
Oh, see,
You know what I'm talking about, brother.
Oh, you know, I know what you're talking about. Right?
You know I know you
You know,
know.
I know what you're talking about, man. No doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah.
So, because you never want to be the whitest sounding black guy in a room.
You put 5 white talking black guys in the same room, you come back in an hour, it's gonna be like Lady Smith Black Mambazo up in there.
So that was one example of people code switching to feel the group mentality and feel like they're part of the community. Now, Amy Tan provides evidence for the origin of the Asian stereotype that Asians are good at math and science. And she says that the origin is possibly due to events caused in the schooling system. She states that Asian students as a whole always do significantly better on math achievement tests than in English. And this makes me think that there are other Asian American students whose English spoken in the home might also be described as broken or limited. And perhaps they also have teachers who are steering them away from writing and into math and science, which is what happened to me. Now, English to people with learning as a second language, or people coming from a home where English is not spoken at a proficient level, may be hard because English is quite abstract language, and math and science is actually more concrete, so they are able to successfully perform in those areas, and the teachers or the education system benefits them or progresses them in those areas faster because they're better at them, and they push them away from writing and English, which is why Asians are generally known to be better at math and science.